comes first. You're watching WECT News.
What started as a small community effort 20 years ago has become a powerful example of coastal conservation. Volunteers of all ages came together to celebrate 2 decades of restoring the shoreline, using nothing but oyster shells, marsh grasses, and a lot of heart, too. WECT's Riley Kehoe shows us how a Living Shoreline project is protecting the coast and inspiring the next generation.
At Waterway Park in St. James, hundreds rolled up their sleeves. Families, students, and volunteers, marking 20 years of rebuilding the shoreline with oyster shells and marsh grasses.
20 years ago, this is the 20th birthday of building this living shoreline of bagged oyster shells and planting Spartina grasses. We also clean up the waterway, clean up the grasses of all the debris that gathers.
It's part of a growing effort to fight erosion naturally, without seawalls or concrete, and experts say it's working.
We've seen a lot of stability of the shoreline. The mud is a lot more firm now. There's a bunch more animals. The oysters they're popping up everywhere. You can see them.
Oysters play a big role. They don't just build habitat, they clean the water too.
So the oysters that grow on the reef will filter the water. They will attract fish to your area and support food for other wildlife as well.
The effort is still growing. More than 180 volunteers showed up today to mark 20 years of this program. That's the biggest turnout the project's ever seen.
And the grandchildren have the greatest time carrying the shells, planting the grasses, and learning from each of these UNCW students. It's a foundation for them that they'll remember for years and build on.
I think that everyone should do everything they can to preserve our natural coastal features in North Carolina. We have a unique resource that is constantly under threat, and it takes conservation efforts to maintain it for everyone to enjoy.
And in St. James, they're doing just that, one shell at a time. In St. James, Riley Kehoe, WECT News.
And Riley found out that group used more than 850 bags of oyster shells for that project in St. James.